Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lara, or Lara Likes Mascara. Thank you for checking out today's video. This is an exciting one because this is the kind of video that makes me really look at my collection and think about it in a different way than I usually do. Now, by this point, I know my collection pretty well, but numbers are not always something that is top of mind. What I mean by that is, like, I have a general sense of what all the blushes are in my collection. I mean, right now I'm on a blush roulette, which means that I spend a full month with every single blush, really giving it attention. So obviously I know my blushes pretty well, but I don't off the top of my head know the number of blushes in my collection. Even though, like, if I wanted to, I could probably be like, okay, there's that light MAC one, there's Milani Luminoso, I have two Tarte ones, you know, like I could probably list them all and eventually come up with a number, but I don't have the number of blushes in my collection memorized. And the point of this video is to count up all of the blushes in my collection and really every category and compare that number to what my goal makeup collection would look like. My dream makeup collection, just realized I'm not wearing earrings. If I had to imagine my dream makeup collection and the size of it, not necessarily the products, but the size of it, what I think would be my ideal number of blushes. This is the second year that I've done this video. So last year was the first time. I will link that video here, but it was really cool to compare what I think is the right number of products with what number of products I actually have. Most of the time, the number of products that I had was bigger than the number of products that I thought was the right number. But there was a couple of instances where I actually had fewer products than I thought would be ideal. So concealer is one example. For a while now, I have had very minimal concealers. Last year, I only had one, and at the time I said that my ideal number would be 2. So I would rather have 2 to choose between. I'll go category by category and I'll talk about how I feel about each number and how, if my preferences have changed over time, and you know, if my collection has minimized at all since last year, which I hope that it has. That has been my goal for years now, to curate down my collection and make it something that I think is the right size for me. Now, everyone has a different ideal size of their makeup collection. So, you know, if I say I think 10 powder blushes is the right number, and for you that number is 2 or 3, don't take my word as gospel. Like, you know what is best for you. But I am just talking about in terms of what I think makes sense for me and my makeup preferences and the way that I use makeup. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and talk about how many products I think would be in my perfect makeup collection and what my collection is looking like today. And I will also say that at the end of the video, I will be counting up how many products I have total in my collection and how many products I think is ideal. So last year we were quite a bit higher than ideal, but I'm hoping that this year my collection numbers have come down somewhat. So let's get into it. And I will try to include some pictures of what my current collection is looking like, just so if I say, like, you know, 3 foundations, you'll actually be able to see the foundations. I will try where possible for my various categories. If you want a more in-depth look at my entire makeup inventory, the last time I did one was December 2023. If you missed that or you want to recap, I will link it here. Check that out. My collection hasn't changed that much since then, but it has a little bit. So, first category, primer. I was a primer gal for many years. I had a Holy Grail primer. I don't need to talk too much about that today, but right now, I'm not a primer person. I have 0 primers, and I'm happy with that. I anticipate that maybe one day I will try a primer that I love, and then I will think that primer is a necessary step in my makeup routine again. At this point, that is not the truth. So 0 and goal 0. So we're happy with this collection. I will do a little yay for every category that I'm happy with. And hopefully it's more of those than last year. The second category is foundation. Now, this is quite a contrast with last year. So last year I said my goal was 4 and I had 1. This year I actually have 5, which you will see here. And I think that's too many. I think 3 is probably a good in between, because then I can have some variety but not too much. And I am including like face tints, BB cream, that type of product in this. So my e.l.f. Halo Glow, I am counting that as a foundation. I suppose I could count it as a primer, but to me it has some coverage, so it's more of a foundation. And then I obviously have 3 of the same foundation, just in different shades. These were given to me by my mom, and I don't love them, but I am keeping them for now, so I have to count them as part of my collection. I think 3 would be good. If I had one of the Dior's, Fenty, and then the e.l.f. Halo Glow, I think that would be good. We're covering all the different kinds of coverage there. So not happy with this part of my collection right now. And then concealer, as I mentioned, right now I have 2. One of them is almost done. I mean, I've been saying that for a while now, but my LYS concealer, I took the stopper out recently and there's not very much product left, so I expect it's probably gonna take another week or 2. I actually have a trip coming up next week, and I don't think it makes sense for me to bring the LYS concealer, because what if I finish it there and then I'm like out of concealer? So I'm gonna bring the NYX one, but yeah, I basically have 1, and I actually said that my goal is 1 concealer, because foundation, I'm okay with having different coverage levels, but like concealer, I don't feel like I need different coverage. 1 medium coverage concealer, I think, is great. So I'm like borderline happy with this category. 1 is about to be finished, and I only have 2 because I bought a backup to start when the 1 finishes. You know what I mean? Okay, cream bronzer. So I currently have 2, and my goal for this category is 2. Very happy about this. I got the Illamasqua cream bronzer and the e.l.f. Halo Glow one, and I like both of them a lot, and I think that when I finish one of them, I'm probably going to purchase another one, because I just like this kind of bronzer, and I want variety in this category. So yay, thumbs up for this one. Okay, cream blush. I currently have 3. I've got the NYX one, I've got Glossier, and then I have the Milk one. And 3 is my goal. I am kind of close to finishing the Milk one, and I expect that one day I will get another one, because I really do like cream blush. I feel like I've talked about that a lot on my channel, but I won't be in a hurry to buy another one, because you can use lipstick as cream blush, and I do that all the time. Today I used my Milk blush as a blush, but yesterday I used a lipstick as a blush, so I do that a ton. As much as I love cream blush, and I use it just as much, if not more, than powder blush, I don't need a huge variety, because lipstick works, I have found, at least for me personally. Okay, powder blush. So what did I put? My goal, I said 7 to 10, and this was the same as my goal from last year, and I currently have 7 powder blushes. Last year I had 9, so I have since decluttered 2, and this has been entirely thanks to my blush roulette, which has been so helpful in weeding out blushes that I no longer want or love. I've accepted that blush is something that I'm always going to have a lot of, so the fact that my range is 7 to 10, and now I'm at the low end of that range, I'm very happy about that. I could see myself decluttering 1 more blush this year, maybe, I don't know. But I do want to leave room in that blush budget. You know, if someone declutters a blush to me or something, I don't want to say no. I was thinking about this the other day. I haven't brought a new blush into my collection since, okay, well, I got the Glossier liquid blush about 1.5 years ago, and before that, Shauna decluttered this MAC blush to me over 2 years ago. So in the past 2 years, I've only brought 2 new blushes into my collection. Actually, that's really not that impressive, is it? It feels impressive to me, because I'm more than 1 blush per year is moving out of my collection. So 2 new ones in 2 years, it feels good. It feels good. And I'm not too worried about this part of my collection being overrun. It's the lips where we get into the problems, which I've left to the end for that reason. The next category is face palettes. Okay, so if you've been following my blush roulette, you know that I decluttered one of my face palettes, the Tarte one, earlier this year, and then The other two I was kind of wishy-washy about. I don't love them, but I'm keeping them for now. I can see myself decluttering one of the face palettes this year, but anyways, for now I have 4. I have the Hourglass one, I have the collection one. What else do I have? I should probably insert a picture. And then I have 2 blush palettes, which I'm just including as like face palettes. I love those 2. I don't love the older 2. I don't love the Hourglass or the collection one, so my ideal number is 2. 4 is too many. I'm not a person who reaches for face palettes very much. When there's like multiple options, I've talked about this before, I've made TikToks about this before, I prefer to have single products, single blushes, single bronzers. Don't give them to me in a palette. I'm just not gonna reach for it. So 2 is sufficient, 4 is simply too many. In terms of powder bronzer, I currently have 2. I've got this massive collection one, which I will literally never be able to pan. And I've got this little duo. I will insert a picture here. I love the bronzer in that. Well, it's more of like a sculpting product than bronzing. I don't reach for the other shade, so I'm just counting it as a bronzer, even though it's technically like a face duo. Originally, I had it categorized as a duo, but I'm just gonna refer to it as a bronzer. So yeah, I'm happy with both bronzer categories. That's actually pretty wild. Cream blush, cream bronzer, powder bronzer, all of those categories I'm happy with. The only category I'm not happy with that I've talked about so far is foundation. So the first part of this list is looking great. The bottom half, not so good, not so good. Okay, face powders. So my goal is 2. I think 2 is the right number. Then you can have a translucent one and a colored one. You can have loose powder or pressed powder, but I have 3. And 3 feels like too many, considering powder is not something that I'm like super excited about. That's not like my favorite part of the makeup routine or anything. And the one that I've been using now, I'm pretty sure it's been in my makeup bag or like on my vanity for like 8 months now. Like I haven't used either of my other face powders in that long. I've only been using the one because I don't get bored of it. Like it's just, it's whatever. They're pretty much the same to me. So 3 feels like too much variety. I would prefer to have 2. And then let's talk highlights, and then we will move on to mascaras and all of that eye stuff. So cream first. I actually love cream highlight. It has really grown on me in the past year or 2, and that is entirely because of the Merit cream highlight. That is the only one I have. I love it. I can't picture enjoying anything more than that, but I don't think I need more than 1. I think 1 is sufficient, partially because I haven't tried other cream highlights that I like nearly as much. So I'm just like, oh, I just need 1 that's really good. And also, you know, because I also have powder highlight. Like I don't feel like I need that many in both categories. So I am happy with this one. 1 cream highlight, and 1 cream highlight is all I need. The next category is powder highlight. Now, interestingly, this is one of those categories where the number that is my goal is higher than the number that I currently have. So I think 3 would be perfect. I would love to have 3 highlights that I really love. Now, one of the face palettes that I mentioned earlier, it has 4 different shades. 2 are blushes, 1 is bronzer, 1 is highlight. But I'm just counting it as a palette. I'm not going to count it twice. So if I wanted, I could reach into that highlight, but that is the worst part of that palette. I really do not like the highlight in that. So I realized that I am quite picky about highlight. So I have the MAC Soft and Gentle highlight, and I also have one of the Becca highlights, but the MAC one broke one day, shattered into pieces, and so I have depotted part of it into another container. So I consider it like 1.5 of a highlight because it's in 2 different containers. So I have 2.5 total, and ideally I would finish off the 0.5 so that I have 2 and then get another one, because I would love to get another highlight. I would love to have the variety of getting to choose between 3, but right now I essentially have 2. So you know, it's not a huge necessity. I do have variety right now, but I want more in that category. So there's very few categories where the goal number is higher than the actual number, but that is the first one we have come across. Mascaras. Okay, what did I say was my goal in the past? So last year I said that my goal number is 10. That seems very low to me. But again, I put it as 10. That seems like a reasonable enough number that maybe one day it would be attainable and that people wouldn't look at me like I am crazy for having 10 mascaras. To me, it feels low. But I am someone who has had more than 30 mascaras for 20 years now. 20 years? Perhaps not 20 years. Let's say 15 years. And I currently have, I believe, 24 mascaras. Now, I didn't count them all up, but I came up with this number because I based it on the inventory, and then I subtracted the number of mascaras that I have panned so far this year. So I currently have 24. Last year I had 26, so slowly curating things down, but still more than double how many are in my ideal collection. So this is the category that is the most out of hand, and yet it's not the category that I'm the most worked up about. Like, my name is Layra Likes Mascara. I love mascara. It's fine to have this many, and I just know that I'm not going to reach a reasonable number for a very long time. And that's just that. Okay, sticking with all things brows. Brow gel. So I currently have two. I have the Merit one, and I have this very old Maybelline one, and I'm going to say I'm fine with that. I don't know what my ideal number is in this category, to be honest, because I use mascara as brow gel a lot of the time. Not like regular mascaras, but when they start to dry out, and if it's got like a nice silicone tip where it's like a good brush, that is what I use as brow gel much of the time. And so I don't really need more than one brow gel. It's really more like 1 to 2. I'm going to say 2 for now. This has remained steady for the past few years. My goal number is the same. I've had both of these brow gels in my collection for years now, so this category is just not changing. When it comes to eyebrow pencils, I believe I have 2. Again, I have an older Maybelline one, and then I have this Annabelle one that I love. I have repurchased time and again, and I really do like brow pencils, but they're only something I reach for like in a pinch. Like if I'm traveling, I'm probably going to bring a brow gel. In the meanwhile, I'm trying to finish up my brow powders and my brow like gel cream pots because I just have more of those. So I'm trying to finish those off. But brow pencils, again, thumbs up. 2 is how many I think I should have, and 2 is how many I currently do have. But we do pretty well with the brow category. In terms of brow cream gel, gel pot, I'm not really sure what to call it. I currently have 1. And I think that that is the right number to have. I could conceivably see having 0, like I already have brow powders and brow pencils, so I don't necessarily need every single type of brow product, but I do really enjoy the one I have. It's the MAC Cream Gel Pot. So I've just put my goal as 1. It's going to take a long time to finish up, but I'm okay with that because I have been really enjoying it. And since I brought it into my daily makeup bag, how I felt about it has improved quite a bit. Let's talk primers, eyelid primer, and then we will move on to eyeliner and eyeshadows. So eyelid primers, I currently have 3. I have a glitter gel primer from NYX, I have the MAC Paint Chili Paint Pot, and I have the Urban Decay lid primer. That just feels like too many. I put 2 as my ideal. Now, okay, if I loved the glitter primer, I think 3 would be my goal. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, this glitter primer, it makes glitter look amazing, nothing else compares. I'm wearing it today. I've been trying to use it more, it's just the NYX one, and maybe it makes a small difference, but I really don't think it makes enough of a difference for me to feel like I need that product. It just not. Like, there's some things I care about. Okay, like with mascara, for example, hopefully this isn't too much of a tangent. I wear waterproof mascara because it makes my lashes look that much better. I could wear non-waterproof mascara and it would be easier to remove it. It's a little bit less hassle, but my lashes wouldn't look quite as good. But I really highly value the look of lashes. I think that is the most important thing on the face and what transforms an entire look. So for me, it is worth that extra hassle. But to have my eyeshadow be a little bit more glittery, a little bit more sparkle, to me that is not worth the extra hassle. So yes, all this to say, I think 2 is the appropriate number and 3 is simply too many. Let's move on to eyeliners. Okay, so I have a bunch of eyeliners, but this category has really minimized in recent years because I did an eyeliner declutter about a year and a half ago at this point. I will link it here, and I got a bunch of them out. So right now, I have one cream colored liner. This is more like skin colored. I just have this next one that I rarely reach for, but in a pinch, it is useful. I can use it to clean up lip liner or lipstick. I just rarely do it. But anyways, that is one. And then I've categorized my actual cream colored eyeliner as the double-ended eyeliner. I have a category for that because it is purple on one side and cream on the other side. In terms of other colored eyeliners, I currently have two. I have a green one and a red one. I love both of them, and I love them so much that now I'm like, I should get more cream liners. Like, I have a sort of burgundy one that is a lip liner that I use as eyeliner. It's not great because it's obviously made to be a lip liner, so I would love to have an actual eyeliner version of that someday. I'm all about using what you have, and so I'm happy to have it. But anyways, I love colored liners, and I think I actually want more of these. So I put my goal number as 4, and I currently have 2. So this is another category where the number that I think is ideal is higher than the number that I currently have. Glitter eyeliner, I currently have none. I used to have a bunch, and then I was just like, I do not reach for these ever. Why do I own these? And I decluttered them. And yeah, that is my goal number. I do not think that I need any. Eyelash primer, I have this as a category just because in the past I have owned some. I currently own none, and it is not something that I feel like I need. I just use mascaras that I like and that do a good job, and so I don't feel like I need a lash primer. Okay, let's move on to eyeshadow palettes. I currently have 10. And my goal number is 10. I cannot believe that I am happy with the number of eyeshadow palettes in my collection. This is wild because I know for most people, this is a category that is like way too large in their collection and they just have an overwhelming number. That never really was an issue for me. I don't think I ever had more than like 15 at any one point. I brought some new ones into my collection, but I've also decluttered others that I don't like anymore because my color preferences have changed. So my goal number is 10, and I currently have 10. Last year it was 11, so I was only a little bit off, but I am really happy with my eyeshadow collection right now. Maybe one day I will do an eyeshadow roulette where I focus on one eyeshadow palette per month because it's going so well with my blush roulette, and there's definitely eyeshadow palettes that I do not reach for, but that could be a 2025 thing. Okay, setting spray, I currently have one, and I think that you only need one. I'm not a huge setting spray person. Like, I'll use it if I need my makeup to stay on, but I don't feel like different setting sprays will do vastly different things. I actually don't even feel like one setting spray will do anything very much. So one is fine for me. Good on this category. Whoops, I forgot to mention brow kits, brow duos, whatever you want to call them. I mean, I mentioned them peripherally, but I currently have a NYX one and an e.l.f. one, I think neither of which I have ever opened, ever used, which is unfortunate, but I'm just trying to get through my cream gel pot right now because I feel like that will expire quicker, and then I will move on to those two. I don't know why I thought I needed 4 brow kits. I had a Sonia Kashuk one, I had a NYX one, then I got a backup of the NYX one because it was not being sold anymore, and then I have the e.l.f. one. That's too many. Each of those are gonna take like 3 years to use. Anyways, sorry, not for this video. Okay, we're talking about eyeshadows, so let's talk about eyeshadow duos or quads, like smaller palettes. I decided to put this in a different category. I actually only have one. I like how I'm only showing the things that I can like access, like reach right now. These are the 2 color eyeliners. I can reach those. But this Fenty Duo, this is actually Highlight, Afternoon Snack, and Mo Honey. And it's a bit too dark for me on the cheeks, but as eyeshadow, beautiful. I haven't reached for this in a while, but such a nice color. Just great on the eyes, really brightens. So this is, I'm considering the only eyeshadow duo in my collection. It's not eyeshadow. It works really well. Great formula. And that brings us to eyeshadow singles, paint pots, and eyeshadow sticks. So eyeshadow sticks, I'm saying I have 2. I have this green one that I love. It's from Freck. It's so good. My friend just decluttered it to me recently. And then I have a nude sticks one, which is like a shimmery brown. It's nice, but I don't know. I never reach for it. That's another thing. one of these days I gotta do a project where it's just items that I never reach for. I guess that's kind of the point of the graveyard project pan, which by the way I am doing at the moment. But with my graveyard project pan, I just work on old products, not necessarily things that I never reach for, you know? And maybe I should make a project that is specifically for products that do not get my love, like my blushes. So yes, 2 of those. I think ideally I would just have 1 because, as I said, I don't reach for one of them, but you know, pretty close to the goal right now. Eyeshadow singles, I currently have 7 and I've put my goal as 7 to 10, so I am really happy with that. Now again, eyeshadow singles are not something I ever reach for, so I could really put this down to like 2 or 3, but I know a lot of people love eyeshadow singles, so maybe one day I'll get into them, so I'm leaving room for that. Eyeshadow paint pots, colored ones, not my like MAC Painterly paint pot. I currently have 3 Revlon ones, which honestly I don't love, but they make great base layers on the lids. They really do not crease at all. Actually, I should probably get back into using them for when I do shimmer it looks like this, because they're great paint pot. And I have the goal as 1 because, as I say, I don't reach for this category. All of this stuff is kind of subject to change if my preferences change, you know, but this is how it is now. Double-ended eyeliner. I currently have 4. 3 of them are from Urban Decay and 1 of them is Revlon. And I would ideally like to have 2 because 4 is too many. And what ends up happening with double-ended liners is that I only like 1 of the colors. I only use 1. And then I declutter the other half, which is whack. So I really don't need any, but I've put it down to 2 because I think I have 2 of these liners where I could conceivably use both shades. And then liquid eyeliner or potted liner, you know, that kind of category. I currently have 1. I just have the 1 KVD one, and I put down 2 as a goal because I would love to have a brown liquid liner. That would be so great because my brown liners are all pencils and it's nice to have precision. Have I missed any? Black pencil liners. I have 4 right now, and that's too many. I don't need 4 liners that are the exact same shade. Sure, they're slightly different colors, formulas, whatever, but 4 is too many. I mean, I love a black eyeliner as much as the next person, but I've got those 4 plus the double-ended liners, so it adds up to more than 4 black liners. 2 is the goal. I need to minimize this by half. I don't know if I'm gonna declutter them, whatever. Brown pencil liners, I currently have 1. I put that my goal is 1 brown liner, and I have 1 brown liner. Honestly, I think I'm gonna change that right now. That's the only thing that looking at it now, I'm like, that's not accurate. I would actually prefer to have 2 brown liners, like a lighter shade and a darker shade, because there's so much variety within brown. You know what I mean? And I don't want my only options to be dark brown or black. I want a light brown option too. I know I can always use eyeshadow, but I just prefer using eyeliner for eyeliner most of the time. But because we are in that 1 success on the brown liners, not the black liners. Oh my god, okay, we finished eyes. Now let's move on to lip products. I've got so many different categories for lip products because we got lipsticks, lip gloss, lip liners, the whole shebang. Let's start with lipsticks. I currently have 11 lipsticks, which honestly does not even sound like that many. I'm like, that's perfectly reasonable, but it's because so many of my lip products I put in like other categories. And I set my goal as 7. 7 sounds like a reasonable number, but honestly over 10, it's too many. Considering that I don't wear lipstick. No, that's not true. I was gonna say I don't wear lipstick that much, but I really have been getting myself into wearing lipstick more often, so that's great. But I always reach for the same ones. So 11 is too many. I put 7 as my goal. For stick lip balms, I actually have 2 right now. I set my goal as 1 because I don't need multiple. But you know, that's something that you can always use, so I'm not upset that I have 1 more than I need. Lip glosses. I have 5 right now. What is going on? I don't know. Wait, I think I forgot to put this one in the picture, which is hilarious because this lip gloss is always on my mind and on my lips. This is what I'm most focused on finishing right now. It's almost there, not quite yet, but I've got 5 lip glosses. I really don't need 5. I put my goal as 2. maybe 2 to 3 because they are different colors, but I just don't love lip glosses. They have improved in my mind, but not that much. So 5 is simply too many, and hopefully we will be able to get down to 3 soon because, yeah, 2 of them I am trying to get out. Lip liners. I currently have 8 lip liners, and that seems like a lot considering I only ever use 2. There's one that I use as eyeliner, and then there's 2 that I use on my lips because I like their color. The other ones are all like dark shades that I don't like very much. So that's not great because I do want more lip liners. Like those e.l.f. ones, the new like $2, they're probably not $2 in Canada. Those ones, I actually really want a couple of them. But I have so many lip liners that I never reach for that I'm like, how can I justify expanding my lip liner collection if it's already bigger than I want? I have my goal number as 6, so I already have 2 too many. Will lip liner declutter be in my future? I don't know, but for now, this category is simply too big. Moving on to liquid lipsticks. Okay, this is embarrassing because I know no one wears them anymore. However, I have 8. I have 8 liquid lipsticks. One of them I love. There's a couple of them where I like the color, but the formula is just not it. So I set my goal as 2, but I currently have 8. Now, keep in mind, this has been minimized from previous years. Last year I had 10, this year I have 8. So, you know, maybe next year we can get down to 6 and slowly we'll get there, but the number is too big. No one wears liquid lipsticks. And then I've got an uncategorized lip product category, which is just like misc things that I don't know what to call them. Here, let me pull one out. Like here are some examples. This says cushion lip tint and this says ultra HD matte lip color. This is probably more like a liquid lipstick, but it's not. And this is kind of like a lip balm, but with a cushion tip, you know? But because of the applicators on these, I have no idea how to categorize them. So I just put them in an entirely different category. And that has 5 items. My goal is 2 because 5 is too many. Okay, other misc lip things. So it's basically just, I have a potted lip balm and I have a lip sample. The lip sample is actually what I'm wearing on my lips right now. It's from KVD. It's leaving my collection soon. So those are miscellaneous and I have 2. And I put 0 because I don't want any of these miscellaneous products in my collection. It's enough to have uncategorized. I don't need a separate category. I want both of those things out, the potted lip balm and the lip sample out like this year. And then unopened lip things. So I actually have 1 lip product from my friend. She declared it to me. I have never opened it. And then I also have a backup of one of my liquid lipsticks that I really do like, which was a gift from my mom. And both of those I have never touched, which is not great, but it's inevitable to always have products that I have never used. So 2 is not so bad. Oh my God, are we done yet? Oil blotting sheets, 0. And that is the goal. That is the goal. I don't think I need oil blotting sheets. And that is everything. Okay, did you notice how I was not happy with a single category in the lip realm? That is how you know that this is the category that I need to work on the most. This is why I'm using lipstick as blush. This is why I have a lipstick project pan as part of my graveyard project pan. I need to get these categories down. That is a big goal for me, and it is something I've been working towards for a long time. That is it. Those are all the categories. Wow, I've already been filming for 45 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. I don't want to announce the number of total products or the number of goal products. I think that I should cover that in a different video, whether it's talking about like my makeup no buy or just an update on how my makeup life is going, because this video is already so long and I feel like I can have a whole conversation just about that. So I will save it for a future video. But thank you so much for watching.